Thanks for joining us at the Hospitality Hangout, a hospitality-focused podcast where the founders at Branded Strategic share their insights and bring technology and innovation leaders that are making things happen in the industry we love. My name is Jimmy Frischling, otherwise known as the finance guy. I'd like to introduce my partner, my quarterback. I'm going to stick with this theme all day long, Mr. Michael Schatzberg, also known as the restaurant guy.
Thanks for that introduction, Jimmy. And it is Super Bowl week. It is Super Bowl week, and it's an exciting week, and we are looking forward to it. So thank you for the introduction. Feel free to call me Schatzy. Together, we are the personalities behind Branded Strategic Hospitality. We work at the intersection of hospitality, technology, innovation, capital, and, of course, Jimmy, wings. We are big on wings.
We're the intersection of wings?
It is big. We know a little about wings. I got to tell you, Jimmy, before we jump into it, because it's got a great show, Super Bowl show. It's the Super Bowl Hospitality Hangout show. Jimmy, I just want to let everybody know that the Boom store is open. Jimmy, Boom is open. If you are an operator and you are looking for a technology solution and you're not sure what solution you should have, you got to go to Boom. You go to boom.store, Jimmy. We are connecting buyers and sellers. We have over 550 of the greatest, most innovative technology companies on there in every vertical, in every category. Jimmy, go to boom.store. Check it out. Jimmy, do you know what it costs to go to the Boom store?
Sounds very expensive. Very expensive.
You would think. Zero, Jimmy.
Zero. That's a great price. How do we make money, Schatzy? How do we make money on this thing?
Volume,
That's
Jimmy.
right.
We're hoping that millions and millions of people use it. Jimmy, I got to say one last thing before we kick off this Super Bowl special edition, okay?
Yes.
There's also something very exciting going on, okay? Every Saturday morning, there is a little nugget of, I like to call it literature, Jimmy. It's literature. The Branded Weekend Update. It is the most incredible newsletter. Spearheaded by none other than you, and it is fantastic. Every Saturday morning, hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world they get up early, Jimmy, like it's Christmas morning, to get that weekend update and see what Jimmy's going to share. It is great. So if you haven't subscribed, I urge everyone, go to the Branded website and go find the Branded Weekend Update, because I got to tell you, it is a fun read. It's as long as War and Peace, but it is a fun read. Anyway, Jimmy, let's kick it off because we had a great show.
All right. I don't know what I did, Schatzy. Maybe I called you my quarterback, but now the Branded Weekend Update's getting shout-outs on the podcast. I got to tell you.
The Seinfeld reference last update. That's what it was.
I would have done.
Once you did that, I was like, oh, Jimmy loves me.
I had you at Seinfeld. All right. I like it. All right. Listen, let's get into all the action. We are very excited for today's episode, the Super Bowl edition. And yes, I apologize in advance. We're going to have a plethora. That's right. A plethora of football references sprinkled throughout the podcast. But today we're very honored to have our guest, our friend, and a second-time participant in the Hospitality Hangout, Mr. Wade Allen, Chief Digital Officer and Head of Off-Premise at Brinker International. This is awesome, Wade. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Jimmy, before we get into it, Wade, sorry, before we get into it, I got to tell you, do you know that we actually had Wade was our first ever guest when we did the Hospitality Hangout on the road? It was FS Tech 2021, September 12th, 2021. I remember it like it was yesterday. Wade Allen on the road. First guest.
Yeah, I remember that.
And here he is on the special Super Bowl edition. Here we go.
Awesome. It's good to be here, guys. Thanks for allowing me to join in the game and be a part of this.
You see what he did there?
See, I see what he did. Wade's playing too. He's playing. Listen, I'm going to try to drop all my baseball references, of which I use more often than anyone would like me to, and we're going to swap them for football references today. So before we get started with Wade, let's huddle up. All right, here we go. Trivia Tuesday.
Is that number 2, Jimmy? I'm keeping track. Is that number 2?
Let's see who ends up with the most football references among Wade, you, and me, Schatzy. All right, let's huddle up.
0. You know that, Jimmy.
You're 0. You're more than a 0. Yeah. Anyway, Trivia Tuesday. Being that all our podcasts are released on Tuesdays, we now introduce Trivia Tuesdays. Each week, we share a fun trivia question, but here's the catch. You have to tune in to the end of the episode to find out the answer. So today, we're playing the guessing game. To our listeners, and about to be Schatzy, we can't ask Wade because he's an insider. Schatzy and our listeners, how many pounds of wings were sold last year on Super Bowl Sunday at Chili's and It's Just Wings combined? pounds of wings sold last year on Super Bowl Sunday.
Can I take a guess now, or am I waiting until the end?
You know what, Schatzy? You can take a guess right now if you want.
I did some quick, Jimmy, I'm going to use a gorilla math reference.
My reference,
Jimmy loves gorilla math. I want to
call it left tackle math.
Left tackle. I'm going to, and I got to tell you, based on my numbers, I am going to say 250,000 pounds of wings were sold. That's my guess.
All right, Schatzy, I respect the guess. Everyone stick around to the end of the episode to find out.
Does Wade even know?
Oh, I know.
He knows. He knows, Schatzy. He knows. All right, let's kick off this episode. Schatzy, that's number 3. Wade, we'll let you take the lead. Please give us a little background about yourself, of course, and please introduce, I think most of our listeners know very well about Brinker International and your brands, but please talk about Brinker for our folks.
You bet. Hey, great to be here. Appreciate the opportunity to be on the show. Let me start with, if you don't know Brinker, you probably don't know casual dining, because over the course of the last 45 plus years, we've owned 30 different brands. But today, our core brands are Chili's, Maggiano's Little Italy, and then we launched a virtual brand called It's Just Wings about 2 years ago that obviously is focused on just chicken wings, right? So my role here is SVP and Chief Digital Officer, but my focus is on our $1.2 billion off-premise business. So every day I wake up and think about, how are we going to sell more chicken wings, more fajitas, more quesadillas out that side door? So that's a little bit about me. That's a little bit about Brinker.
Love it.
I love it. And listen, before we tackle this episode,
Schatzy's on the board.
We'd like to find out how our guests came to their current position. So I know we had you on the show before, and it was a while ago. So can you just share a little bit back? Let's go back a few years. Let's go back to 1974, 1984, whatever year you want. And let's Little Wade Allen. How did Little Wade Allen get to this position at Brinker? Where did it all begin?
Under normal circumstances, this would be Schatzy's Fraser Crane. He's listening moment, but today we'll call it the Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner. Go ahead, Wade.
Nice.
Little Wade. How did he become Big Wade?
Yeah, so let's take it back to 2002, Schatzy. I'm not that old.
We're not going back that far.
We can't go back to 80s. That's a little early. But so started my career off in agency world, doing a lot of work in and out of digital agencies and working on mobility that just kind of come into the space. I actually had a really cool opportunity early on in my career, and I bumped into Brinker as I was working for these agencies doing some marketing work. And Brinker was one of the customers that I just kind of fell in love with. And I didn't work on the core brand of Chili's, but I worked on a brand that they owned at the time called On the Border. And I also worked on Mac Grill. And both of those brands were a ton of fun to work on. It was new and innovative. But what I found and fell in love with was it's just blue sky in restaurants at the time. They were very behind retail. They weren't being terribly innovative. Their marketing was, freestanding inserts in newspaper. Fast forward about 10 years.
Table tents was our best marketing.
Right. That was what it was, right?
Cutting edge.
Table tents was the best we had.
So after a couple of years and working, doing some startups and working in another agency, I bumped into Brinker again. And actually, it's a funny story. The chief product officer for Sam's Club was actually working as a consultant inside of the Brinker walls. And he reached out to me and he said, hey, before he went over to Sam's, he's like, hey, you should come talk to these guys. So I met Wyman Roberts, the past CEO, and the CMO at the time, which is Krista Gibson, and just said, man, I could do a lot of damage, right? I could tackle this without any problem.
Yeah, I like it.
And so jumped in, and over the course of the last 10 years, I've had 4 different positions inside of Brinker. I was a VP of marketing. I went upstairs and was the chief digital officer and CIO for a time. I moved over to run innovation. And then just recently, with the transition of our new president, brought me back to being the chief digital officer and running all of off-premise. So that's how I got to the position I'm in today.
That is awesome, and thank you for sharing all of that. Listen, it's been an incredibly exciting past year for Brinker, starting with the new president and CEO, Mr. Kevin Hochman, who took over as the head coach, the Andy Reid of Brinker. Can you share some of the new initiatives Mr. Hochman has already brought to the company, or is bringing to the company?
Kevin is a change guy. He's all about a turnaround. And he does that through getting us hyper-focused on the things that really matter in dining, right? It's the blocking and tackling of the dining industry. It's really making sure, right? That's 3, I think. That's 3. But it really is, right? It's the make it simple, right? Keep it clean, have great hospitality, have a great atmosphere, and get your food right. And not every bit of food in our industry, as far as casual dining and a great big menu matter. What matters is your core items, right? Chicken crispers, fajitas, burgers, right? Make sure the margaritas are delicious. That's what we're focused on. So his leadership and getting us hyper-focused on the things that really get us back to great and kind of turn this organization back to where it was has been a really breath of fresh air. He's also very open to feedback from the operators. He is a advocate for our operators in the field, and they feel that, and they're super excited about engaging with our now restaurant support center and the new initiatives we have because of that particular element.
Yeah, I love it. And I got to tell you, I mean, when I just think about just some of the things just that you guys have done at Brinker, I mean, you guys are really Brinker going back to its roots is really the innovators of the industry, really. And It's Just Wings was really very innovative, what you were doing with the virtual brands and really a leader in that. But let's take a minute to revisit another great move from the Brinker playbook. Chili's recently, you see that? I threw that one in there. Chili's recently collaborated with Chain, the Los Angeles-based pop-up by proprietor BJ Novak of Office. Is that the Office fame, BJ Novak, Jimmy? Is that what we're talking about, right?
I believe you're correct, sir.
That's BJ Novak. So not just a great writer, great actor, also the Chain as a tribute to how much people love Chili's. What can you share with us, and what can we expect to see? Are there going to be more pop-ups in the future? Are you going to be working with Tom Cruise, with Brad Pitt, any other famous people? Can you tell us?
I can't tell you we'll be working with some famous people. I can't tell you who, but I will tell you that Chain experience was fantastic. BJ Novak is one of my favorite. I'm a huge Office fan. I
watched it last night.
Right? You're getting ready, Schatzy. You're getting ready.
He's fantastic. Yeah. So this experience was so much fun. It was this house party in LA, in a neighborhood. The house was totally decked out to represent all Chain restaurants. They really focused on Chili's and our core equities. They had a great celebrity chef come in and actually make our core items. And that really was driven not because of, we worked with them and we liked them and it was a great connection, but it really came about because George Felix, our CMO, is thinking out of the box. He's new, he's come in, he's very innovative. He's done some great work with some really cool brands in the past, KFC, Pizza Hut, Old Spice. So, he kind of set that up. Our social team worked with him. And it was a blast. I got to meet BJ, right? It was like the shaky knees syndrome, trying to keep it cool because I just think he's such a stud. And it was, it was
who
awesome.
Are you? Oh, who are you? Oh, BJ Novak. Oh, I think I've heard of you. Yeah, I hear you.
Right. It was something like that.
I dig it a lot. And I want to get into, we talk a lot on the podcast about the kitchen of the future, but I admit mostly in a more hypothetical way. But at Brinker, you guys are literally bringing the kitchen of the future to the present. And you've done this by respectfully ditching the robots for kitchen automation that cooks faster and more consistently. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you even have a new high-tech grill that cooks and sears a medium steak to perfection in 3 minutes. That is a serious, get ready for it, Schatzy, game changer.
Oh, woo. I love it, Jimmy. That could be number 4 or 5 for you. I don't know. You and Waiter right now leading the list.
Crushing you. Wade, what can you tell us about your kitchen of the future and what Brinker's doing in this domain?
Well, it is a game changer for us for sure. So I will tell you, for the past 10 years, we have not made a major overhaul or added any new players, if you will, from a kitchen equipment standpoint into that kitchen, right? But we have now. We actually said, hey, let's go look at this. And we have 2 new pieces of equipment that I am just shocked by. And you're right. The first one is the grill. It's a dual platinum grill that cooks proteins to perfection with a touch of a button. It's all touchscreen. The heat and temperature and the time under which it puts that protein is really perfect, right? And it gets it right every single time. Anybody can operate it. It's made our zone 2. That's the area that we cook those proteins. Super simple to use. The second one is what I'm calling it's a 4-cavity oven, and it uses tornadic. That's what I call it, right? Tornadic air that kind of spins around and oscillates inside of that oven, and it cooks these items really, really fast. And you're right. Today, our steaks in 3 to 4 minutes can come out of the kitchen perfect. We've got phenomenal quesadillas. Our ribs are cooked to perfection, and it's cutting cook times 50% plus off all of these items coming out of our kitchens.
That's awesome. It's funny. I was just going to say, when you think about automation, I think a lot of people immediately go to robots and they think like, you got to have robots. But you know what? You can also automation, just increasing the efficiencies of some of the things that we already have, like what you just said. A grill and an oven aren't new. It's just that they take a long time. So just that's a source of automation. I love it.
Yeah, Schatzy. So usually you and I go back and forth, but I'm going to fake the handoff to you, and I'm taking the ball right back because I'm continuing. I'm feeling strong. I'm taking possession of the ball. And my next question, it's one of my favorites. Okay, across the industry, we're seeing a pattern of companies either building their own innovation solutions and others who prefer just to buy it or acquire an existing solution. So which side of the 50-yard line, Wade, are you and Team Brinker on?
Well, so here's what I will tell you. We move back and forth across the field on this topic, right? And what I mean by that is...
You can bring another football reference, by the way. I think
it's getting silly, right? Listen, I'll tell you. So we do play on both sides of the fence, and here's why. For years, we've been all about kind of rolling our own. That's kind of been the term we use is we're going to do our own thing. When we've rolled out team member handhelds where our team members come to the table and order, that was our technology, right? We've created a curbside for all, which we take the food out to the car. That was our technology. But what we're learning is that we're a restaurant company and we can't create every bit of technology out there. And so we're migrating closer to this middle point of saying, hey, bring your good tech. We're going to be the integrators. Because what I will tell you today is people that come in, and technologists and entrepreneurs that come in, they solve a very specific problem. What they tend to struggle with is helping us integrate that solution across the totality of all of our technical debt, right? And so what we're now doing is saying, okay, come play with us. We're going to be the integrators. So we're kind of in this weird place, right? We're stuck on the 50-yard line because we bring some and we integrate with our own tech. We've not yet made a purchase or gone the ways of something like a Domino's or a Pizza Hut to go out and buy a company and ingest them into our own organization. I don't think that's out of our wheelhouse. I think it's something we would consider doing, but not something we've done yet to date.
Got it.
I don't know if I can continue on all of the football references, Jimmy. I got to tell you.
Schatzy, you do you, man. You do you.
But I got to tell you, it is Super Bowl Sunday coming up. I know Chili's just rolled out a new game day menu. And, of course, It's Just Wings as the greatest wings on the planet. I mean, you guys are crushing it. Last I saw, I think on the last quarterly update, you did something like $700 trillion out of It's Just Wings.
Stay in your lane, Schatzy. Stay in your lane.
I think that was that was the last quarter. It was $700 trillion in business. So I think you blew the socks off the numbers. That was amazing. Give us what's going on. What should we be ordering? What are the new dishes? What should I Super Bowl Sunday? I know I'm going to have wings. Is it new flavors? What are the products? What should I be getting Super Bowl Sunday? Because it's Tuesday. We got to start putting our orders in now, I suspect.
Yeah, great question. So if you're a wings lover, you're not going to find a better value in the space than It's Just Wings, right? They are phenomenal. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
We're interrupting Wade because we just got a delivery. We got delivery.
It's Just Wings, and they smell and look divine.
I love it.
This is awesome sauce.
And it is awesome sauce, right? 12 different sauces, 13 different sauces to choose from. Some great traditional ones, but some really, really delicious kind of new and innovative ones. And if it's boneless or bone-in, we've got it phenomenal curly fries as well. Here's what I'll tell you, Schatzy and Jimmy. If you guys are maybe not into the wings, and I know you guys are, but if others aren't into the wings, there's a whole nother restaurant, a phenomenal restaurant by the name of Chili's that can serve you anything from burgers to chicken crispers to fajitas to quesadillas. Yeah, quesadillas, right? Quesadillas, right? Come get them at Chili's. It's a great party platter event to have at the game. So,
and let me answer. Obviously, there's something for everybody. I mean, you could go watch the games there, right? You can watch the games at Chili's.
Yep, absolutely. Come on in.
But I mean, it's got to be a big takeout and a big delivery day, I'm sure, because people have a lot of parties. So you got to put those orders in early. You guys are probably rocking already, getting those orders ready for delivery.
Yeah, those pre-orders are already coming in, right? People are already
do all that online, I suspect, right?
All through the mobile app and all online. Now, I will tell you, coming to the bar is a great experience too, right? Whole bunch of different televisions. They're gonna have the game blaring. We got a great bar menu, right? And great drinks.
Any beers there?
Oh, yeah.
They have beers.
We have beers. Come on, brother.
Come on, come on, man. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
Our listeners have no idea what was just delivered to Schatz and myself. The aroma. I mean, this is for Schatz. It's okay. For me, I got to stay focused because I'd like to eat this wonderful hot dish of wings that were just dropped in front of me.
But so delicious.
I will stay focused. Listen, let's roll into talking back. Schatz and I started this podcast because we clearly enjoy talking and having guests and asking them questions. But we learned along the way that sometimes our friends and guests have questions for us. We like to say nothing's off the table. We're going to pass the microphone to our friend Wade. The microphone is yours, my friend, and we promise no matter what you ask us, we won't drop the ball on the answer.
All right. All right. I love the reference back.
He's still going.
Okay, here it is, guys. Here it is. And I think about this one all the time. We just went through a crazy world in COVID. And during that time, we got thrown a ton of technology at restaurants. A ton, right?
Yep.
Almost so much that we couldn't catch all of the technology, right? I did that. The question is, how much technology is too much technology in the restaurant world? Is there a limit, or is it all technology is great technology, take it all?
It's a great question. I love that question. Schatz, do you want to take a first? I
always
pass?
take the first stab, Jimmy, because I throw it out there and then you fine tune it, and make it better.
Yes,
but I would say this,
I do.
I think to your point, Wade, I think there is a lot of great tech, and a lot of times they are solving. A lot of times it's one problem. They're solving one problem, and it's great. They're solving one problem. So I think the key is it would be great because if you can have a lot of tech solving all my problems, that's great. I mean, all my problems are being solved, and I don't even have to go to work anymore, right, Wade? I mean, because all the problems are solved, and call me once a week, and I'll take the call. I'm going to play golf. But at the end of the day, I think the key is. It's the integrations and the workflow and how does it work with everything you already have and your business. So coming up with a solution for a problem is great, but every restaurant group is a little bit different. It's not the right fit for everybody, or it's the right fit, but it doesn't work into my flow. I mean, you've got, I don't know how many stores, 2,000 Chili's, is it? I mean, something like that.
Yeah, 1,500.
So, you've got your own set of issues and problems. And I'm sure you see a lot of tech and you're like, wow, this is the coolest tech ever. It's really solving a problem. I would love to bring it in, but I don't know how it's going to work with my system I have now. So I think the integrations and the workflow is something we really have to really understand, because it would be great to have every problem solved by technology, but I don't think that's just that's not reality.
Schatzy, I think your answer was actually quite good, actually, even outstanding. I think you were trying to run the clock out on me, though, and prevent me from chiming in here.
I wasn't finished yet, Jimmy. I wasn't finished. I had more to say.
I would say this, as somebody who's been involved with this industry for a few decades now, but also had a Wall Street career, this is the most fragmented industry and asset class that I've ever seen. And it's not a one-size-fits-all.
Exactly.
And I think there was an explosion of tech. And to Schatzy's point, when he's talking about integrations, I think the fact is, I think the remainder of this year and even a lot of 24 are going to be about consolidation, because at the end of the day, the operators want as little friction and seamlessness as possible, and to have so many disparate technologies, while each one might solve a particular issue, exposes the operator to all sorts of various support groups or customer support and things that could kind of disconnect. I think they'd like to have as much bundled and integrated solutions and as much of a one-stop shop as possible. I don't think there's one platform that could do all the things that operators need, front of house, back of house, off-prem, on-prem. But the fact is, I think we are going to see a consolidation, because I think at the end of the day, the operators are going to focus on the highest prioritized challenges, opportunities, and even problems. And once they have something that's solid and working, they're going to move on to the next one. So again, I think it's been an explosion of tech, which is healthy for our industry. I think there's a little bit of saturation right now. And I think we're going to see really 18 to 24 months of consolidation. And when the dust settles, I expect we're going to have a much better tech stack and offering for operators. That's
Jimmy, I agree. And I would also go back to what Wade was saying. There is so much, but you know what? It's nice for an industry that's always been really slow to adopt and embrace. It's nice that we now have a lot of choices. Yes. And now Wade can say, this is what's good for my business. Someone else can say, that's the solution that's good for my business. But to Jimmy's point, there will be a lot of consolidation. All right, listen, great question. Great answer. Mine was slightly better than Jimmy's, but Jimmy, it was a good answer. Let's go to Food Service Feud. It's a great time. It's Food Service Feud. It's Super Bowl Sunday week. It's a special edition right now. We've asked every Tuesday, we throw a poll up on LinkedIn, and we ask over 100 million operators to answer this poll, and we have a lot of fun with it. Wade, Jimmy, are you ready to play the Food Service Feud?
Let's do it.
Don't be so excited. Yeah, exactly. All right. The question we asked over 1 trillion people on LinkedIn and got a phenomenal response. What is your favorite part about Super Bowl Sunday?
Game.
The game.
Oh, Jimmy rang in. Jimmy, wait, do you want to ring in first?
I don't know the rules here. I need a buzzer. It was the game. It's got to be the game.
Wade buzzed in first. Wade, I got your buzzer first. Favorite part of Super Bowl Sunday?
The game. It's got to be the game. The football game.
The game. That is the number 4 answer on the board. Number 4. So apparently people are not as excited about the game as we thought. What? Jimmy, you can steal this for the family. You can steal it, Jimmy. What is the number 1 answer?
By the way, the one thing I was going to say is I thought the game was going to be 4th because because at the end of the day, I think the commercials, the food, the drink, the halftime. So I'm going to go halftime show.
Halftime show was number 2. Jimmy, the number 1 answer on the board, it's the food and the drink.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The commercials were number 3. It's the food, the drink, the halftime show, the commercials, the game, then the game.
By the way, that's a win for Brinker. I got to tell you, that's a big win.
Yeah, I got to tell you,
guys, I think I may have screwed this up. The producer put this in order, but it wasn't in order of the winning. It was
the game.
Food and drink was number 1. The game was number 2.
All right.
I got to talk to Julie.
We need a new game co-host. What's happening?
By the way, I got to say, Wade wins twice. Not only is food and drink the number 1 answer, but the game beat my answer. By the way, was the commercials?
Food and drink. The game, then halftime show, then commercials.
I wasn't the last. Okay.
No, but it is interesting. Food and drink is number 1. And I got to tell you, for a hospitality hangout, we got Wade Allen from Brinker on. I think it's great that food and drink is the number 1 reason people watch the game.
I think that's a good showing.
That's awesome.
Right. That's awesome.
All right, listen, let's move into our crystal ball moment, a chance where we ask our guests to put on their Kreskin or Miss Cleo hat and predict the future. Wade, my friend, how do you see restaurants and dining 2 years from now in relation to technology?
So Jimmy, you intercepted my pass, but I'm going to say it anyways, right? Here's what it is. I think over the next 2 years, restaurants have got to slow down a little bit and ingest all of this new tech that's been thrown at them after COVID, right? They just have to. And those that will do that, I think will set a foundation to be successful going forward. I think the other pass I'll throw is, I'll call it robotics in general. And what I mean by that is that's artificial intelligence, that's robotic process automation, and that's physical robots in the restaurant. They're coming, they're on their way, and they're going to continue to be here. And then the third pass I'll throw is really back to that optimal digital and physical experience meshing within the restaurant and outside of the restaurant, because it's going to be less about where you eat the food and more about how quickly you can get the food and have your experience the way you want it. I think those 3 things are going to come forward in a really big way over the next 2 years.
Will quality of food be top of mind? Will quality of food matter, or is it just, I don't care, I just want it fast?
No, I think it's always going to be the table stake. You got to have quality of food.
Okay.
I think I'm just assuming that's already an existent kind of level setting.
Has to be good.
It has to be good. I mean, if you eat those wings and it's bad, it doesn't matter how fast you get them or how cool the digital experience was, right?
Agreed.
It's got to be a high quality product.
Listen, I think that was actually one of the most thoughtful answers we've had to that question. Let's bookmark that. Let's revisit this a year or two down the road and see how precise that proves to be. And I think, Wade, when we get you back again, we're going to find that you are on the money of the things you just shared about what we expect to happen over the next 2 years. And to shout your point, I know you're always, as a restaurant owner operator, it's almost 30 years doing it, you always are obsessed appropriately about the quality of the food. And I think that is table stakes. And a lot of folks that are coming out thinking it's just about speed and not about the quality are going to find the guests really do care about that. But okay, we'll revisit that down the road. If you remember, Top of the episode, I asked a question. Guess how many pounds of wings were sold last year on Super Bowl Sunday at Chili's and It's Just Wings combined? Schatzy, I think you guessed the
250,000. Jimmy, Jimmy, you don't have the answer. Can you guess? Take a guess.
You know what, Chat? Just for S's and giggles, we'll play Price is Right rule. I'm gonna say you're over, so I'm gonna go under you. I'm gonna go 249.
249,999. Okay.
Under. I'm gonna be close.
Price's rules are in effect.
All right. Wade, what's the
answer? All right,
answer?
gents. The answer is 345,000 pounds of wings combined between Chili's and It's Just Wings.
Boom.
Chatsy.
Chatsy, congratulations, my friend.
Not a bad guess. But I wasn't really taking into account It's Just Wings. I was just doing Chili's.
Well,
there you go.
Good call. Either way.
Well played, Chatsy.
Anyway. Yeah, what's that, Jimmy?
I think we're done, right? There's nothing left to do with this podcast, right?
Only last thing that we can do on the podcast, especially Super Bowl week. It's a fun week. It's a great week. It is the branded Quickfire Super Bowl edition. Wade Allen, are you ready for 5 lightning round questions?
I'm ready.
Don't think too hard. Just first thing comes to your mind. Here we go. Branded Quickfire Super Bowl edition. Who are you rooting for? Kansas City Chiefs or the Philadelphia Eagles?
Kansas City Chiefs, baby. Come on, Chiefs.
Right.
Come on, Chiefs.
Favorite past Super Bowl halftime performance?
Oh, it's got to be last year. I mean, with Dre and Snoop and
that was great. That's an all-star performance.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in your 40s or 50s, that was the music you grew up on, man. That's a slam dunk.
I agree. That was really great. Favorite Super Bowl snacks?
Chili's chips and salsa. Every time.
That was easy. Do you prefer to watch the game, the big game, home or at Chili's?
You know what? I'm going to go.
It can be any bar, by the way. I just threw Chili's in there.
I'm going to go off premise on this, right? I'm going to be in my couch or my recliner with my flat screen, my Chili's chips and salsa, my It's Just Wings, and everybody just get out of the way and let me just enjoy it, right? I'm at home.
I agree. If you were to challenge Jimmy or I to an old school Nintendo game of Madden, little Madden, we're going back to Madden 92 or something like that. Who do you have better odds of beating?
Jimmy, and here's why. His fingers are too big to work the controller, so I'm going to smoke him every time.
I was thinking, by the way, I mean, obviously I grew up with video games. I love video games, but I see my kids playing now. They've got, I don't know what it is, it's like the Sony PlayStation 6 or something like that. The controller there's too many things on there. When I used to play Nintendo, they had up, down, left, right.
A,
right?
B. Yeah.
A, B. That was it. Now there's there's the B/C, there's an M, there's an X, there's a bot. It's too much. I can't do it.
Okay,
I can't even do it.
I'll take
my
it one
Atari
step
joystick.
I think I can take both of you guys in Tecmo Bowl on the Nintendo.
That was the best, by the way.
And I would take the Raiders with Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson. You couldn't stop me.
I thought the Bears really good on Tecmo.
The Bears were good. They were good on Tecmo.
The Bears were really good. And I by the way, Wade, because that was easy. Up, down, left, right, A, B. Eyes closed. I can play that.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
I just want you to know that I was hoping Wade would choose to beat me because my sense is when we were growing up playing at the time when we were youthful, I think you spent most of your Friday and Saturday nights playing video games, and I was
by myself
in your parents' basement, and I was doing other stuff. I think I'm okay to lose.
That was okay. 10th, 11th, 12th grade. I was by myself in the basement. You were out socializing.
I'm okay that I was out and about, and I wasn't mastering the art of Nintendo.
Yes, Jimmy was meeting girls, and I was meeting Madden.
You do you, Chatsy. You do you. All right, listen, Wade, we want to thank you so much for being on the podcast, whether a second timer with us, and for all the great things you're doing in the industry and the insights you just shared. We so appreciate what you and the team at Brinker are doing to support the industry and as innovators and leaders. And again, I think this episode is going to go down as one of our great ones.
Hey, Jimmy, I always say that our podcast is like the Seinfeld of podcast about nothing. Today, I think it was about something. I think we actually had some substance to it. I think Wade elevated this podcast and actually brought some knowledge.
Yes, he was dropping insights.
Gentlemen.
Dropping insights. All right, listen, if you want to get in touch with Wade directly, you can email us at podcast@brandedstrategic.com, and we'd be happy to make an introduction. And I never want to end a show without thanking our listeners. We truly appreciate that you continue to tune in. Our numbers and subscribers continue to grow, and we know there are literally hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there, and the fact that you choose to hang out with us is something we appreciate, value. We always want to have some fun, but we also want to make sure we're sharing some insights on this industry that we love so much. Please join us next week. We're going to welcome back to the podcast one of our regulars, the technology guy, Mr. Sterling Douglas, for a special episode with breaking news. You won't want to miss it.
I love breaking news, Jimmy.
Breaking news. Get ready for it. So this is Jimmy Frischling signing off, your finance guy, with appreciation to Mr. Wade Allen, passing it back to my boy Schatzy.
And thank you, Jimmy. This is Schatzy, a.k.a. Restaurant Guy. I just want a big shout out to Wade. And Wade, if you want to get right now, you want to place your order for It's Just Wings. Do you go to the Chili's website, or you go to It's Just Wings?
Hit the app, It's Just Wings, or do it online, itsjustwings.com.
Itsjustwings.com, and of course, it's Chili's.com.
That's it, Chili's.com.
At Chili's.com. So check it out, guys. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I'm rooting for the Chiefs with you, Wade, by the way, because we're New Yorkers, and they lit up the Empire State Building in green. That was I don't know exactly what the story was, but everyone was very, very upset about that. We don't have the story. Yeah. Anyway, signing off. Thanks, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.